my question of the day, I really don't even know why I'm doing this, honestly. I know the answer. My question of the day, with all the rumors and innuendo and everything that we previously discussed on this show last Thursday and Friday, with the FBI raids of Jody Owens' offices, his personal business, and more, with all the stuff that's out there in the ether, is it time, and I mean this from a logistical standpoint, not just a yes, it's time, but is now the time for the state to come in and put Jackson in some type of conservatorship? Because we're on the cusp, if you believe everything that's out there, of being allegedly, potentially down a DA, which I know that's Hinds County, not Jackson, but Jackson's in Hinds County, a mayor, and potentially a couple council people. So Jackson's going to be a wounded duck, so to say. Is now the time to come in and Tate Reeves and the legislature take over Jackson for a little while. 7, 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. Just to really get it going back right. They can still have their elections, but I think what you do is you come in and you install a city manager that is appointed by the state for, say, 8 years. Let's just pick a number here. You install a city manager for around 8 years. Gets you through multiple mayors, city councils, elections, all that stuff. Or do you know? I mean, I don't know what the legalities of that are. I've talked to a few people. Some people say it can't be done. I say anything can be done. You call a special session. If the law currently doesn't allow for the state to take over a city, you call a special council, you create a bill, and you take it over. It's like, well, we voted this. Here's the new rule. They do that every year. Every year. They make new laws. They give them the ability to do stuff. So I don't know why this would be any different. They believe it's time for the city to come in, the state, to come in and take over the city. What are your thoughts on it? 601-879-0002 is the Mazda of Jackson phone line. 769-241-1944 is the Guns and Gear text line. And not just a simple yes or no. I do want that. But if it's yes, what would you do? Like, I'm asking some of my better minds out there this morning, some of my deeper thinkers. Put your plan together. What would you do? How would you execute the takeover of Jackson? Or maybe a conservatorship is a better way to put it. What are some of the things you would put in place? Like day one type stuff. I definitely want to hear from you guys. If you prefer to email me, clay@wyab.com. And we've already got a call this morning on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
Hey, good morning, Clay.
Hey, brother.
Hey, this is Corinthian.
Hey, I was hoping you. I was hoping you'd call. I was going
to say you baited me in, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, man, I said my deeper thinkers. I want some people that got some real solutions here.
Yeah. So, as you would know, I agree with you on part of some type of receivership. If we're going to be honest, either me or Kim, the reasonable, sensible candidates so far that have announced our part for the next election, and we're going to be real with ourselves. We're going to have to work with the state on some type of level as far as receivership of the city. Now, for it to be total takeover, like how the state could take over a school district, I think it's nearly impossible for a city because the state constitution has like a home rule clause that gives cities a great amount of autonomy where the state can't go in and just simply take over. They will have to it will have to take a lot of amending the Constitution to do that. And we all know both Democrats and Republicans in the state legislature can't get anything done when we need them to get done on sensible legislation. They're not going to get anything done when it comes down to Jackson, Victor Jackson. So I wouldn't hold my breath on waiting on state legislature on both sides of the aisle.
Sure.
But it will really take for folks like yourself and other folks that lived in Jackson, grew up in Jackson, love Jackson. And when I say love Jackson, loving Jackson don't have to mean that you're praising or overlooking the negative, which is overcoming the city, to just promote the positive, the very few positives that happen in the city. Loving Jackson means being able to stand on your business, stand your ground, and tell the whole truth, the unadulterated truth about what's going on in Jackson, in cities that is ran by Democratic politicians. It's just the truth. And most of the time, those cities are heavily made up of, black folks. Not saying it's the black folks that's the problem. It's saying that black folks, we are held captive over a democratic philosophy that keeps us trapped and from aspiring to the American dream. The American dream's not dead. It's not dead in Jackson. Jackson can come back, but Jackson has to wake up and to really fight for what we want. And we're going to need our partners like you, Clay, our neighboring cities, to step up, because we forget Jackson is the capital city of the state of Mississippi. So we need all Mississippians who really care. I ain't talking about Facebook trolls. I ain't talking about social media trolls. I'm talking about people who really care about Jackson and making Jackson better, because at the end of the day, human beings live in the city. And human beings in this city deserve the right of prosperity just like any other municipality in the state. And we all need to get involved. We got to push it forward, whether it be Kim or I or any other viable candidate for next year mayor. We all need to be involved in this election process so we can change Jackson from the outside in, because we can't depend on the 10 to 15,000 people who regularly vote to continue vote for the Chuckways or the other nonsense. We need people to really inspire the masses, the 120,000 plus people who are eligible to vote, to get out there and vote.
100%, brother. I couldn't have said it any better myself. I was talking to Sean yesterday and kind of bounced this idea off of him also by a legislator friend. And I actually just got a text from a anonymous legislator who says, and I quote, "If that gets brought up, we would get it passed." So the legislature is ready to play ball.
Yeah.
But
we're ready. What the legislature needs to do, just like I announced on Facebook over the weekend about my intentions with the Jackson Municipal Airport Authority, particularly the Medgar Evers Airport. The legislature needs to stop doing behind-the-scenes calculated attempts, which could be good intentions, but presumably with public perception, it's negative. So you're not going to get anything done unless you be up front with it. And there's ways to do it. Get connected, just like how these Democrats get connected with the churches and nonprofit organizations and the street committees. It's time for us to go there. When they go low, we need to go to hell. So when they go low, we need to go even lower.
I agree. That's like my fight.
We can't keep politics as usual, because look what we're creating. We're all responsible for the demise of Jackson.
Yep.
Whether we say, be honest with it or not. But Democrats are the ones who's further and pushing the bad and negative policies. But as Republicans and conservatives, like myself, I'm a libertarian, so I don't care about any of the parties, two parties. But as a libertarian myself, the true party that supports true limited government, conservatorship, I believe the people have the power and the to change Jackson. We don't need politicians to do it. We just need adults to grow up and be an adult, and to stop using national platitudes and platforms to combat dialogue. Let's have real dialogue. If something offends you, just reflect on what offended you and why it offended you. Don't just quickly go to, oh, you're a racist, or you trying to get us incited, or you negative, you don't live in Jackson, you can't say nothing about Jackson. Well, Jackson is the capital city. It receives every county participation when it comes to ad valorem and taxes. So everybody have a say-so in this city, just like we have say-sos in other cities when we're trying to deflect about crime. We want, when you mentioned yourself last week, anytime we talk about the facts in Jackson, we 9 out of 10, if it's not a woke liberal, white liberal, a Democrat, a black Democrat come back and say, oh, well, what they're doing in Madison, what they're doing in Rankin County. Well, we're not talking about that, and nobody negating that crime doesn't happen everywhere else, but we're talking about Jackson, the number one crime-producing city in the state of Mississippi, the unsafest city, which, regardless what Lumumba say, in the state of Mississippi.
Hey, if Jackson was so safe, why does he run around with 2 personal security guards paid for by JPD?
Well, when you're lying so much, and when you're keeping up so much mess, and when your house is not in order, I will be scared too. He not only lying to his constituents, but he lying to whoever he in debt to. And I said what I said. When you got someone whose house is not in order, how do you expect that person to keep the city in order? His house is divided. The city is divided. This mayor have done nothing but cause division. That's his track record. A mayor who like to tout that he have a legal prowess or experience when he has no record of winning a case. No record outside of managing daddy's law firm that doesn't exist today. So what do we expect from somebody who talk the good talk? What Tim Wade calls chalk line. So what do we expect from somebody who does nothing but lie? Nothing.
Nothing. Hey, quick question. Try to keep it under a minute here. We got to take a break, but on a real talk here. If you become mayor and the state is allowed to come in some type of, I refer to it like in a conservatorship type role, what would you want help from the state? Like to help kind of take the load off a little bit, so and figure out what's going on.
The enterprise fund, So I'm kind of torn between the water system. So I believe that there should be some type of an amended process with the water system and water and waste. I think we need our control back, but under the right leadership. I believe the state and the city should be controlling the water and not some federal government, because like I said, I'm against federal government regardless. But the enterprise fund, anything that deals with its own agency, like the parks, like the airport, those things, I believe they should be under direct receivership because they need it. Because every Mississippian benefit from it, or more than just Jacksonians benefit from those things. So we can focus on the things that matter: roads, drainage, debris cleanup, neighborhood restructuring, those like police, staffing police. The state need to be more responsible of giving us funds or supplemental funds to pay for more police and beat cops in particular. My plan calls for 350 more police officers to be hired within a year of my administration. And I know it's a hard task to do, and it's never been done in Jackson because, someone has to want to do it. And I believe with my focus on the basics, or get back to the fundamentals and allow the state to take control of other things that we don't need to necessarily to focus on, I think I can achieve those core values that we need in the city: public safety, education reform, and infrastructure. I think that will be a successful attempt on correcting the wrongs in Jackson.
I think one of the day one things should be let the state take over the school district.
Exactly.
Hey, y'all take over the school district, get it fixed. If we in 8 years, if we've passed everything and we feel like we're responsible enough, give it back, whatever. I'd let the state have the school district day one. Please fix this.
Then Republicans will be doing what we libertarians been crying for a long time: fundamentally dissolving the State Department or the United States Department of Education, because that's what needs to ultimately happen, so we can give that local, county, state control back into our schools.
Yep.
We have to dissolve the Department of Education, and it will start from the grassroots, which is in the city level first.
Man, Absolutely. One of the best phone calls we've ever had, Corinthian. Best of luck with everything, brother. Thank you for listening and calling in. Great call. Ding, ding, ding. Ring the bell for Corinthian this morning. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Great phone call. 2 or 3 people just texted and said they actually reached out to Corinthian on Facebook to tell him what a great phone call. So good stuff there. We appreciate that. It is nice to know, man, that we've got a couple guys that I think, realistically don't have anything to gain. It's not a financial gain thing for them. It's a legacy play. I think we've got a couple really smart guys ready to make a legacy play at mayor. You got Kim Wade. He's got some great ideas. One of my dearest friends. You have Corinthian. I think I've met Corinthian before, but I talk to him on the show all the time. I feel like I know him. He's got his head on straight. You heard one of the best phone calls this show's ever gotten. These are people who are willing to work with the state. Say, yes, we need help. Our blackness ain't gonna get in the way of allowing you to help us. And I think to me that's the first thing. Is like finally saying, yeah, man, why wouldn't I want the help from the state when they're offering to give it to me? Let's work towards eventually getting the water back. That's okay. Let's get it right, and then work toward to put some systems in place to prevent it from happening again. Some checks and balances. The school system. You have nothing to lose, unless except some money that you're doing something with other than what you're supposed to with the school. Let the state take over the school system. Only 54% of JPS third graders can read at a third grade level. There's a lot of failure to go around. There's a lot of blame to go around at that failure. It starts at home. 100% starts at home. And then it's the culture at the schools. I bet you they can't read at a third grade level, but I bet you they can tell you who killed George Floyd. I bet you they can tell you who Emmett Till is. Let's read a couple of your text messages here. It was kind of a short segment. I let Corinthian run over there. Wasn't going to stop him when he was on a roll. But we're going to have to get our time back here in just a second. Where are my text messages? Here we go. So at some point I'm going to start giving my phone number out because it's easier to do that. Let's take a call here on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, brother, you on there?
Good morning, sir. Hope you had a great weekend.
Oh, I did. You? Hey,
I'm doing great, but y'all talking about recalling Chuck Way and everything. And
hey, cut your radio down.
Taking over Jackson and everything.
Yeah.
You got to remember, this guy won election by about, 50%, then won re-election by 70 or 80%. He will get re-elected again, Clay. Don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Kim. Known him for a long time. Love him to death. But Chuck Wade will get reelected again. Mark my words.
Not that he's a felon.
He's just like Harvey. It's hard for him to let him go.
I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. I'll never underestimate the ability of a Jackson. It's kind of like the ability of a Hinds County jury pool to screw something up. I'll never underestimate Jackson's ability to put the worst possible candidate in office.
Say they were to take and put over conservatorship. Do you have any billions of dollars that would cost the state? Think about it. The schools, all the things got to be redone. All the roads got to be redone. Extra police officers, extra payroll, overtime, new equipment. Man, it would be a cluster. They can't afford to take it over.
I don't think it works. I don't think you have to come in and start paving all the roads. You don't have to come in and fix and make everything new. You come in and you get things back right.
I mean, so getting things right. It's the water system, the trash.
That's already done.
The set aside money, the crime. Money. I mean, that takes money. And I don't think the state wants to invest it.
Well, you operate it with the tax money they have coming in, just like they're currently paying the bills that they have. I mean, you don't just come in and pay for everything. You use the tax money that's currently paying for JPD, that's currently paying for schools, the money you get from the state for schools.
But again, Clay, if you're going to have more police officers, I mean, you'll have more cars, more equipment, more guns, more uniforms, more fire department. I'm just saying, though, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to spend the money to do it, and it's going to cost the state no telling how much. And I don't think they want it. Well, who in their right mind would want that anyway? But I understand where you're coming from. Like somebody that worked for U.S. Attorney told me a long time ago. They gave up on Jackson a long time ago. But hey, you have a good day, my friend.
Thanks, brother. I disagree with that. I disagree with the math on that. Let's see here. Guns and Gear text line. All right. Sorry, it takes a second to get these things pulled up sometimes. It says, unknown texture. There's too much anger in our politics. Enough preachers. We need calm. So not enough preachers? We got too many preachers in politics, too. Kenneth says, everyone should be able to vote in Jackson elections. It's our capital city. A lot of state services are located there. A lot of people from other counties work there. States should take over and clean it up. All right, that's the last text there. Somebody asked me to recap Friday's show, the FBI raids, all that. We're going to get to bits and pieces of that kind of as we go here today. And we spent 2 whole shows, Thursday and Friday, talking about it, so I just don't want to beat a dead horse because nothing new has come up. But we'll get into some stuff. There has been a story on Jackson Jambalaya that we're definitely going to hit about Jody Owens involving himself in economic development, strangely. So I think that could all link back to this. We'll see how it shakes out. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back.